The meaning of this is not to incite violence. Because from a moral perspective, it's not good. From a legal perspective, I believe it's illegal. There is a law against that. One notorious person in history that comes to mind is Charles Manson. I did not research the story on him or his situation deep enough, but from my understanding, he had influenced people to kill on his behalf. That's not what I intend to do. Now, the way I want to tackle this subject is logical. Now, there are emotional repercussions that come with violence, specifically killing, the act of killing. But I want to try to be more logical if I can help it. I'm going to state the facts here. Now, feel free to share your thoughts and let me know if you feel that I'm wrong. So, to those of you hearing this, if you are associated with law enforcement to any extent, or anybody, before you're quick to get offended by this video, just give me a chance, hear what I have to say, and then come up with your own opinion. Because you have the right to, and I'm not going to try to persuade anybody into thinking in a certain way. Fact of the matter is, killing is very easy to do. I can easily get my hands on a weapon, walk behind somebody unprovoked, and gun the person down. We see it happen all over the world on practically a daily basis. I would be advised, I would advise whoever's watching not to be so quick to get defensive in the comments section and comment these smart-ass comments such as, you're talking about killing, you're thinking of killing, you say that it's easy to kill, go seek help, because that's a game that people play. It's with each other. Guilt tripping is what I like to call it. And it stems from ego. When we guilt trip people to try to make somebody feel bad, it gives us we try to get a instant gratification, an instant ego boost. It tends to make us feel better about ourselves. At least that's why we do that. Now, we all need help from time to time. It's okay to admit that. We all are sick. We all get sick. But you know what's... it's good to seek help. Seek help. We should all seek help when we need it, and we need to recognize when we need it. But do you want to know what's better than seeking help? Helping yourself. Now, without making this all about me, this is for everybody. All that I'm going to talk about for for the duration of this video pertains to anyone and everyone. I'm a selfish person. Sure, we all are. We all have to be. I've talked about this before. What makes me selfish? Because I want to look out for myself, just as we all do. We all have our own self-interests in mind. But the truth is that for any of us, all of us, killing is very easy to do. Now, allow me to elaborate. What stops us from killing? A majority of the population. Now, we know that killing happens, and there may not be a way to ever completely stop it. Why? Because we're all animals. We are animals. Humans are fucking animals too, like any other creature, species out there that exist. Number one, in most countries, in developed countries, law and order. I'm an American, and here in the US, you probably can't get away with killing, with murder. Even if it takes time before the negative repercussions catch up to you, it comes. It comes with time. And I don't feel that you can ever get away with it because of technology, advancements, DNA sampling. I'm not a detective. I'm not in law enforcement. I couldn't give you the exact breakdown, but we know that's there. There's a justice system here that isn't always fair, but at least it tries to be in some cases. Second, morale. Somehow, we were created with feelings of guilt. And remorse. Most of us, I'd like to say, have remorse. Sure, you can kill someone, but once you do, then what? That's the big question. What happens next? Set the law aside, the legalities of it, for a few moments. There is a very good chance that if you hurt someone, even without killing, you're going to feel bad about it. And it's going to eat you up. I'm very confident when I say that. The next idea I can think of is being fair. We want to try to be fair with everyone. And I know there are aspects in life that are not always fair, that don't always seem fair in certain situations. But think about how others get affected. Those that we've seen in documentaries, news reports, on TV, those that we know have killed others. Take a look at how it affects more than just the person that has taken the action to kill, the victim. It affects everyone involved negatively. I don't see really any positive outcomes that come from killing. Other than maybe in the moment, just very briefly, it may give us an ego boost, a sense of pride to say, you know what, I had my reason for doing it, and I showed them. But that subsides fairly quickly, I'm sure. Then from that point forward, it's all negativity, negative effects that go along after. You're gonna hurt people that care about the victims, and this isn't really news to you, but this is just a topic of discussion that really should be discussed without any hiding, any shame in doing so. We should talk about this as people. Next, there's karma. You may get punished in different ways. You can get hurt somehow. You can get killed somehow. And lastly, from what I can think of off the top of my head, is religion. Those of you that are religious, that believe in a higher power, will say, well, God is going to punish you because you're not, technically, you're not supposed to kill others. That's what stops us from killing. Now, I do know that there are some of us that are so far gone up here that they will hurt others, and they will not be able to, they may not be able to sense what the negative effects. They're not going to feel it. They will not be affected by it. And those people maybe do need to be put down in a professional setting. Here in the States, we have lethal injection as an example in many states. Because those people somehow don't know better. But that's why mental health is so crucial. We have to look out for our mental health. We need to have peace in here. We need to get rid of any anger that we have in our fucking heads. Because that anger tends to lead to violence. That violence can lead to killing. Killing is an act of violence. But it's a very strong one. It's the last resort. It's the final. It's probably it has the biggest effect that you can have on someone when taking that action. When other animals kill, they kill for different reasons. Really, the reason for other animals to kill would be for survival when that does happen. When we humans kill, it's more about ego. Really, that is the only reason, actually. Vengeance, getting revenge, for whatever the reason is. Now, we all know that killing is wrong, but those of us that have killed, when someone is killed, that person will try to justify his or her reason for doing so. Because there is a reason for everything. And when you sit with a person that's done that and ask the person, why did you do it? it's really going that the person will give you words and give you an explanation in his or her own way, but behind that, it's just ego. And the fact that that person was so upset, got so affected, that the person felt that the right way to handle the situation was to kill the aggressor or whoever that person had a problem with. Now, I would like to be able to have an opportunity or opportunities to sit with people that have killed and ask them why, what their reasoning is. And with these people that are logical, that do still have sense, that can communicate clearly their reason for killing, I would want to be able to show them that I care, and to show that I want to understand why the person has taken that action. I mean, with animals, other animals, and they have feelings just as we do. But for some reason, they do not have the capability to differentiate from right or wrong. We all know killing is wrong, even those of us that do it, for the most part. If other animals didn't have had the ability to differentiate between right or wrong, and had the feelings of remorse and guilt and ego, then they wouldn't kill. That's the difference between us and other animals, is in the way that we think. Before I say this, before I move forward, don't try to be a hero here and lie to me saying that you've never thought this way before. You've never had these feelings or thoughts. Now, I'm going to use myself as an example here because I really cannot speak on anybody else's behalf. But what I'm about to say, when I say this, really I am speaking for all of us. And that is that I've thought about killing. I've had violent thoughts in my mind when I've been angry. Now, you don't have to worry because I'm completely harmless, because I keep myself in check. I have the ability to. We all need to have the ability to. And as humans, we hold each other accountable. We keep each other in line through rules, regulation, law. We punish each other when we slip and make mistakes and hurt others. But I know, and I've just explained to you how I know that I can think in a logical way to where I know that I will never kill someone. I just can't. I do not have it in me. Because if I were going to kill someone, I would have already done it, because it's so easy to do, to perform the action. Now, I've never had premeditated thoughts in depth where I've thought, okay, well, I'm going to kill this person today and this is how I'm going to do it, and where I've actually plotted the actions leading up to that. When that happens, if you ever go through that, you need to take a break. You need to stop and you need to think. And if any of my words in this video resonate, if it can be a benefit to you, think about what I've said. so far. And in this way, it's okay to be selfish because we don't want to be punished. I don't want to be punished. So I know not to hurt anybody physically ever because I don't want to be punished for it. I know that if I make that mistake because of my fucking ego, fuck me and my stupid ego, I'm going to get punished for it. I'm not going to be able to get away with it, and I know I can't, which is why I don't do it. And I know it's wrong. I know that I'm going to feel guilty for it afterward. You have to think that way anytime, every time you have violent thoughts in your mind. One way that I vent out my anger when I'm having angry thoughts, violent thoughts, is through video games. Many of us do enjoy violence in TV, movies, entertainment, video games. It's a way to, how can I say, it's not so easy for me to describe it and summarize it, but it's a release from reality where we can watch the action happening, or where if we're interacting in a video game and we're killing another character, we know that we can do it. We can get away with it because it's not real. So psychologically, it's acceptable. But you need to be careful when consuming that type of negativity, when you're consuming violence in media. You need to find the balance in doing so, because too much of it will psychologically alter your way of thinking subconsciously. You won't even really feel it happening. There are no symptoms of it, but it will happen. And that's going to put negativity in your mind. And that is when you will be uptight for no reason and angry and have violent thoughts. And you won't really know why you're so angry. Life is about management. We have to manage every aspect in our lives. I fear death. I don't want to die. I'm hoping that I'm going to live a very long life. I wouldn't want anybody to harm me, to harm anybody that I am close to. I'm selfish in that way, and we all are. So why am I going to hurt others if I don't want to be hurt myself? It's not fair. It's not fair. There's an imbalance there. And this is why we know not to hurt each other physically. Every time I get in a plane and go flying, I worry and think to myself, well, am I going to survive this flight? Is there going to be a problem? Is God going to punish me for a mistake that I've made and kill me today? That's the way that I think of it. And this is why I've made it a point for myself to be selfish, to try and take care of myself up here and all over. I want to make sure that I'm in good health. I want to manage my health and manage my life so that I do not hurt anybody when I'm upset, when somebody upsets me. We see in real time, and especially specifically now, recently, we're seeing people getting punished for their violence unto others. I can talk about the war between Russia and Ukraine, but I do not have enough facts to formulate an educated opinion or to give any facts on that because I have not been paying attention to that. It's all bullshit. It's all negativity. And such as with video games and certain media, don't follow the propaganda. Learn to think for yourselves. Stop watching news. Stop listening to what other people say. Now, when there are fights because everyone has an opinion, and we're never going to be able to stop people from having their opinions. But where are opinions usually formulated from? They're derived from what we are. What's the damn word? To what we pay attention to. When we're following or when we're so deeply, heavily involved in politics, news, listening to what others say, and we don't think for ourselves, that's the problem. Many of us do not think for ourselves. Then we formulate these opinions where we believe what we're told, and then we say, you know what, yes, those fuckers, they deserve what they have coming to them. They're the bad people, and whatnot. Now, I have been exposed to the newly started fighting going on between many Palestinians and Israel. Now, I have an idea on a summarization of what's going on, and that's why I'm going to be able to share that with you. But I do not pretend to be to be well versed in politics, and I have no interest in it anyway. So I wanted to put that out there. But from my understanding, and from what I can see, Israel is the aggressor. Because when we look back in history, supposedly, and I believe there is proof, that Israel wanted to occupy Palestine. And the Israels have a hatred or have a problem, many problems with Arabs in general, but specifically let's use the Palestinians as an example here from what we're seeing. And unfortunately, it's not a fair fight because, yes, to anybody in Israel watching this, I acknowledge, and I'm just on the sidelines watching and giving my thoughts on this. I don't want any involvement in it. It's better to let idiots fight against each other and hurt each other because they're making fools of themselves, and that's what fighting and violence leads to. But we're seeing the repercussions firsthand that support what I've said about the negative effects of violence, killing. I'd like to know, to have an understanding why. I mean, when I think about why Israel would want to take over certain countries, it would be because of ego. But is there a better reason other than that? I don't believe so. But feel free to share. Now, anybody knows that when you are violent against people, many people in this case, you can't expect not to be punished for it. You know you're going to be punished for it. But in some situations, we, as individuals, come to a point where we don't care. We just want to prove our point and send a strong message to support our ideologies. And that's where war comes from. Killing is a way to send a strong, the ultimate message to people. And that's where this stems from. It falls under the category of ego. You can try to oppress people, which seems to be what Jewish people, Israeli people, are trying to do to the Palestinian people. I saw a documentary on YouTube briefly this morning where I could see proof of that. I believe it. And I'm going to try to be fair to everybody here in my explanation of this or discussing this. But in the documentary, I could see Israelis trying to intimidate these Arabs, throwing rocks at them and yelling, cursing them, putting them down. So there is definitely tension and aggression there. There is anger between many Israelis and Palestinians against Palestinians. I'm not sure what the Palestinians could have done in the past that have caused this much hatred for the Jews. But this is the Jews' way of retaliating against the Palestinians to try to prove their point, and I'm not sure what the reasoning is. That's why I would want anybody watching this that's in Israel to feel free to comment their thoughts on why they that support this, those that are supporting this fight, this aggression, what the reasoning is. What did the Palestinians do to deserve this? And any Palestinian people or anyone that supports the Palestinian side to give their reasoning for this. But this is what it is. And watching this unfold in front of our very eyes, watching it play out as it is, the Palestinians are going to fight back. They're not going to accept it. And that's what we're seeing. So this is how the Israelis are being punished for what they've done. Unfortunately, though, it's not a fair fight. And here's how. The Palestinians don't seem to have the same support, enough support, the same amount of support that Israel has. Biggest ally that I can think of to Israel is us, America in general, the American government. Now, what is behind that? Okay, politics, yes. It's all business. There is definitely a benefit that we're getting from Israel, and that's why we want to protect Israel. We want to show our support for Israel in return. To be fair, right? Now, I'm not sure what support exactly that the Palestinians have, but the Palestinians have their own support from maybe Iran. That's what I'm hearing. Is it true? I'm I couldn't tell you, and I'm not going to believe everything that I'm seeing or hearing. Neither should you. But many other Arabs are I'm sure supporting the Palestinians. So both sides have their own support, but Israel has more leverage. It's a bigger country that's more organized. It's a more e- e- uh, organized economy, society, because mainly, I would like to say, due to America and its support. But America, as America, we police the entire world. I do believe I do believe that America is the greatest country, and we try to be fair. We're not always fair to everybody. You really can't be. I don't believe it's possible to be fair to everyone always. But we police the world and we try to be fair to everyone. America supports many Arab countries. There are many Palestinians here in America that have taken refuge, let's say, and Syrians and other nationalities, people from all over. That's what America is. That's America's stance. But at the same time, America is selfish. We do have our own political gains to that we want to go after, and that is the reasoning behind our support for, in this case, Israel. Now, I don't know the exact details to give, but that's the idea here. And that's why more fuel continues to be added to the fire, because everyone's got an opinion and everybody is siding. Everyone is on a side. Israel has its support, the Palestinians have their support. And it's going to continue. It's gone on for this long because of that. And there really is no simple solution other than negotiating, and I'm not sure how that can be done. Uh, but with the side that has more leverage, which we know is Israel, and trying to find out why Israel in general wants or has taken these actions and wants to take over Palestine, or this whole idea of occupation and what's come with it. But trying to come up with a plan uh, that everyone can agree on, that's fair to both sides. But that's not very easy, is it? Otherwise, it would have been done already, right? It's easier said than done, definitely. But this is a real world example that we're seeing in front of us in terms of that pertains to this subject of violence, of killing. And it's just going to go back and forth. But you're seeing how it has nothing but negative effects on both sides. Even Israel, that we know realistically has more leverage, has better support, more support. We're seeing Israel being punished. And now Israel and is going to retaliate against these Palestinians, uh, and and it's just going to be a back and forth battle, all because of ego. And it can definitely be prevented. Now, Hamas, which is, I'm not sure, is it, if it's a group of militants, from what I'm understanding, and of course, people that are against that side are going to say, well, it's a terrorist organization. Uh, is it though? If you stop and think logically about it, think for yourself. Remember, stop focusing and paying too much attention to the propaganda that's being thrown at your face. Is it really? Or is Hamas a group that's been formed due to the actions of the Jews? With time. And this is retaliation, revenge in the making. These are the people that are willing to put up the ultimate fight and get violent, get weapons, however they are getting them, and to perform the acts that they've been performing against the Jews. What both sides are doing is wrong, but each side is going to defend itself. The Palestinians are going to say that this is their way of sending a message to the Jews. The Jews are going to say the same in return. They're going to wonder, and the Jews are wondering, oh, well, why have we been attacked? Why are we under attack? But they have to think, well, what caused this? There's a reason for everything. It's the violence that they've started in the first place. The attempt of oppressing people, certain people. There's a natural negative consequence to this that cannot be avoided, and this is it. We're seeing it. I'm starting to repeat myself a bit now, but just thinking about it, the situation, what's going on, and gathering all the facts together and going over it. This is why people kill.